Hello, 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 and welcome to the Global Footballer Podcast. I'm Deepak, and with me is Monish. Monish, being a Manchester United fan, I'm sure you saw the game against Arsenal. What are your
Yes, I
thoughts
did.
on it?
Uh,
For me, it was quite
disappointing.
enjoyable to watch. Isn't it true?
Disappointing. It was good stuff. It was an exciting game. It wasn't a boring game of football. It was exciting. Manchester United had a tactical approach. They had a plan. Normally, I mean, we have been very poor last season when we have played away from home, especially with the other clubs in the top 6 or 7 of the Premier League. So at least here they seem to have a plan. They were sticking with it. They executed it until the defenders got a bit more tired, and a couple of them were. I mean, they were already working with players they wouldn't normally work with in many positions. The left back was a makeshift right back. The centre half, they were missing their best defender. On the centre back, they were missing the big buy. Although I prefer Eriksen, but I think he was culpable for the first goal that was given. So they were missing Mount. They were missing players in all important positions. The problem was, I'm not saying that was a reason for what happened, but when the other players got tired, injured, and because of the high energy style of play, they didn't have the right substitutes. They got Johnny Evans in. I mean, who would have thought Johnny Evans would be playing for Manchester United in any way? We always thought he was
Well,
coming back
he
as
did
in,
play for Manchester United
I
before,
mean,
so
back after so many years. I'm not saying he's a bad player. But
uh,
the thing is,
he's past it.
we lost two mobile defenders who could play that style, and suddenly we got in two slow defenders, and that actually affected us. Van Bissaka really put a hard shift in. Martinelli was always, yeah, he's trying to take him on, and it was a good battle there. Casemiro was trying his best. Obviously, he's much slower. He's definitely not at the level he was last year, but all right. Eriksen had a great pass for the first goal, and then he didn't close Odegaard for the second goal. So he's made this mistake a few times already. Uh, he shows exactly his strengths and weaknesses. Probably not the person you would need, especially with a less mobile Casemiro in midfield. And buying Amrabat, I think, although they kept it for the last moment, Amrabat again is not someone who, I mean, I saw him properly only in Morocco for the World Cup. He was okay with the forward pass, but he was more of a defensive midfielder, always trying to win the ball, and he did that well. And I think Casemiro needs someone right now to help him out. Um, Rashford had a fantastic game, always exciting, always looking dangerous. He looked exciting whenever Rashford got the ball. He did something. I mean, it was exciting. You always thought something would happen. Martial just ran and put in a shift in. Um, Anthony had a better game than he had, and I think Anthony, with all the recent issues, I think he's also going to be off the team for some time. There was a
Mm.
problem again. Erik Ten Hag, honestly, going to the press and openly telling the reason that Sancho was subpar at training, and Sancho had his reaction. I don't know
You are
where
a
that
big
is.
Sancho fan. How did you take that?
It's not like I'm a big Sancho fan. I had a lot of
Well,
hopes
you've
for him
been
this
picking him
season.
up for the past few
Yes, I
episodes.
have. I have. It's more like I thought this season he looked a little more confident. Last season, he has always had his problems with. I mean, even there's reports coming now. Obviously, these might be planted reports where people are saying that even in Dortmund he was. I mean, must be true, but it's coming out now because of some reason that in Dortmund also he was always being late and fined quite a few times for some punctuality issues and all of that. So, but Sancho is an exciting player, and he, I think, needs some confidence. I'm not sure if Erik Ten Hag is the right person to give him that confidence. Uh, as I was talking, I like Guardiola's approach than Pep's to man management, as in, take the
Guardiola's
players
approach
on.
to Pep,
Sorry,
they're the same
Klo- Klopp's approach to Pep when it comes to man
person.
management.
Fine.
Yeah, than and I think Erik Ten Hag is more Pep than, not tactically, but I don't know how
Yeah.
good he is with his players. But the thing is, they showed passion. Bruno, Casemiro, they showed passion, and I was quite excited for Holland. I'm not expecting him to be this great goal scorer, but I'm just happy we have a striker. Like, when did we last have a striker? There was Ibrahimovic, who was there for 1.5 seasons, who was fantastic. And when did we last have a striker? Just be honest. Think about it. Like, even a normal second string, third string striker or a target man, someone who could hold the ball, we didn't have it. So, yeah, and he
So you
did put in a
signed the
good
guy
shift.
from Burnley to play as a target man up front.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a pure out and out striker.
No. He was a pressing machine. What did they call him? A pressing monster.
Well, his position was the striker, Weghorst, wasn't it? And
Yeah, Wout Weghorst. But what I'm saying is that someone who kind of gets you a little excited, because Manchester United, they used to have an embarrassment of riches during the treble season. After that, Cristiano Ronaldo was providing the goals on one side, and Rooney obviously was the striker. Van Persie came in, fantastic. There was, Van Persie, there was Berberto, there was Fernandes. After that, after the Ferguson era, we have been reliant on Martial, and I think the only reason Martial is still in the club many a times is because they haven't found a replacement half the time for him. And
yeah,
he's
I
he's the
agree.
person.
Agree
Yeah.
with all that. I think the whole game was sort of showing us how much of an inferior team or how much catch up Manchester United have to do compared to the top teams. And by top teams, I include Man City and Arsenal only in that right now.
So
Th-
Manchester United
They,
was playing away from home, and
yeah,
they at least
well,
had a
again,
plan.
all of these are
And
things which
no, no,
are
but
given
again,
by excuses
this
given by
wasn't a
clubs
no, no. This was,
below that level.
but
Playing
what I'm
away
trying
from
to say.
home,
No,
we
I
don't
had
want the
more positive.
possession, we'll cross on the counter,
See, the
we'll
thing
break.
is, this is the thing now. When it's Manchester United, people are always harder on them. They've always
No,
been a
but it's
more of a
it's
counter-attacking team. But more importantly, if Mourinho had done this, they would say tactical masterclass. All right, he's done this even with Real Madrid against Barcelona after getting whooped 5-0 or
so
5-1. But when it's Manchester United doing it, they say no. This is they have fallen down. Let me tell
if
you, Manchester
Manchester
United
United had actually done that, so
were
Monish,
without
if
four
Manchester United had
first team
actually done
players.
that well
Yeah,
and come out of Emirates with a
exactly.
point or
Why?
with a win, it would have been a different case.
Exactly.
Neither
So
of those things didn't happen.
the only answer is winning or losing, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
about how far they have fallen. You said it's the game showed how far they have fallen. No, the game showed
You think
Manchester
you're
United
on
had
the
a
same
tactical
level as
plan.
Arsenal? Do you think you're
I
on the same
think
level as Arsenal?
I think Manchester United, if they have all their players back, they would be close. The only
You
they
were
could have
not
been.
close to Arsenal. And you were saying that was because you were playing away from home. That
No,
is not an excuse
not just away from
to
home.
compete on
We
that
had
level.
lost. We had lost our main defender. Okay,
Yes.
you put an Arsenal. No, wait. You put an Arsenal team. You remove four important players from that Arsenal team. You remove Martinelli. You remove Odegaard. You remove both the defenders, and then you put them in front of a Manchester United team, and then we will see what
Again,
happens.
injuries happen. You guys have spent
Exactly.
more than anybody in the Premier League over the last
Yes,
five to
but
10 years,
what
and
I'm trying
you've
to say
not
is
gotten anywhere about it. Your
Manchester
team is
United.
distinctly average.
It's not
Distinctly
distinctly
average.
average. It's better than it's more than an average team. It's better than Newcastle United for sure. Okay,
I'm
it's
not.
way ahead.
The conversation is
What
not
I'm
about
trying to say,
Newcastle. That's what
okay,
you're comparing to Newcastle. That shows your mentality now.
we are not our
They are
mentality.
your
Our mental.
competition, not Arsenal or Manchester United, Manchester
No,
City.
we are not way below Arsenal. Manchester City is at another stratosphere. Arsenal is obviously best of the rest. I would say they are ahead of us. I'm not lying on that. They are ahead of us. But it's not that we have fallen down so down that we had to go. Just because Manchester United decided to play a little more defensive and try to hit on the counter, people are
It's
like,
not
oh,
even
this.
good
The
defensive
only
play.
reason
You were
it
ripped
was good
apart in
defense.
defense against
No. It
Spurs.
was
Against
only
Spurs, against Spurs,
against
clearly
Spurs.
you
It
were.
was a horrible
No,
performance. This was
yeah,
100 times
exactly.
better
So
than
your
Spurs.
defensive work the whole season, starting from the beginning of season till now, has been
No,
poor. So it wasn't
exactly.
even a good defensive performance. You
But no,
came
no,
out with the loss.
this. I'm talking about this. Yeah, we came out with a loss because we lost our defenders during the
There are
play.
always reasons for a loss.
Yeah. But there was some tactical way for it. Honestly, it looked. You ask any Manchester United fan, this was better than what we expected in a way, because we were worried without Varane what's going to happen. All right. More importantly, Casemiro looks past it. That is the biggest worry I have. I'm really excited for Holland because it looks like we
Yeah,
finally have
I,
another
I
route.
agree with you regarding Hoyland because he
Hmm.
did look like a
Yeah,
actual
he
much needed center forward that
he
you
didn't
guys
look his
need.
age. The guy was
So
wrestling him down.
so I
Yeah.
completely agree with Hoyland, but you need that
For
position filled.
Bruno
He looked
had a
quite good when he
fantastic
came on.
Bruno Holland.
Bruno has a 8 out of 10 game most of the times, and he
Bruno
has
is one of the
above
most
par games.
underrated players I feel by the fans.
Fine.
Honestly,
Again, that's not a
you ask
conversation.
Kevin
I
De
think
Bruyne who is the
I
next
don't
best,
think
he says Bruno. You ask I think they were asking the Liverpool players. Who was it? Trent or something. Who do you think gets the
I,
highest points in fantasy? They
I
say
don't
Bruno.
I don't classify Bruno in that category with Kevin De Bruyne now, but
Yeah, but
he's a
The
really
next
good
best.
player.
He's the
I
second
do
best
rate him.
attacking midfielder in the Premier League after
I
Kevin.
think Odegaard
According
is
to
better
Kevin De
than him.
Bruyne. According to Kevin De Bruyne.
Again, Kevin De Bruyne's opinion is not God-given righteousness,
No,
but
yeah, not
um,
is our opinion. But I
yeah, but
believe
in my
Bruno is always
opinion,
given short shrift.
Odegaard is much better. Either way, I think Manchester United were at a level below Arsenal throughout the whole match, and that is
But
my honest opinion.
but they
The
weren't as bad as it's made out to be. This is not the end. In
If
fact,
you let me
I
complete,
feel this was
I'll
better
go
than most
around
of
at
the old
some
games.
point to what I think
Yes.
actually about the game.
Okay, tell me.
Uh, But the whole point of the game seemed like Manchester United trying to get a point away at Arsenal, and that wasn't a successful point. I can completely understand Ten Hag's plan to play on a transition game, and honestly, I think the most successful team in Champions League over the last 10 years has not that's not a thought process, that's a actual fact. It's Real Madrid who have been the most successful team, and Real Madrid are the most counter-attacking team on the planet, and they play counter-attacking football. They've not been fussy about keeping the ball for 70 minutes of the game. They play that, but they have a clear advantage for playing that because the midfield historically over the last 10 years has been excellent. Kroos, Modric, and Casemiro at their peak have done them absolute justice. Manchester
Yes.
United have got a Casemiro who is approaching sort of what looks like the end of his career, at least at the very top of the game. Probably he can continue for a few years, but not sure whether at the elite level. Bruno Fernandes is excellent, but he doesn't put in the shift defensively that you would want in somebody who's playing in a three-man midfield. Uh, if that second person next to Casemiro was putting in all the defensive work, then perhaps this might work. Sofian Amrabat is the problem with Sofian Amrabat is, as you said, he played great for Morocco, and that's what he's best known for. But it's very difficult to buy players off their performance at a World Cup, and most clubs don't do that because during those 2 3 weeks, players are playing on pure adrenaline most of the times, and that leads them to put in superhuman performances, which usually they can't sustain over the length of a season.
I agree
And
on that.
that's
Totally.
why
I'm worried.
nobody
Yeah.
has been in for Amrabat because
No,
his
no.
performances for few,
There were players in for. There were teams in for Amrabat. It would be wrong to say
none of the
nobody has
top
been
teams.
in.
I mean, yeah,
There were good teams in. Even I think there were some top teams in also for Amrabat because there were some top teams scrambling for midfielders at the end. Manchester United included. There were a lot of good teams in for Amrabat who were scrambling for midfielders. All right. The problem with Amrabat is he is not the midfielder you would want. Like even Erik Ten Hag has been looking for a different sort of midfielder, for someone to distribute. He wanted
yeah,
Frankie De Jong. He wanted Christian Eriksen who can defend a little bit.
yeah.
That's the sort of midfielder
He's
he
not even
wants.
close to the same level as Frankie De Jong.
Exactly. No, he's not. Christian Eriksen is not good.
Defensive.
In his defensive
Christian
position.
Eriksen is difficult for him to play with his back to goal. And when he
Exactly.
is receiving the pass first time around, he usually has this swivel pass, which he does
Hmm.
sort of blindsided most of the times. And teams have started recognizing that he does it. So they cut off the
Yes.
passing lanes, which leads to him
Yeah.
committing mistakes, which leads to a counter on the goal, which leads to a shot on target or a goal after
Yeah.
that. And that's been
And
Christian Eriksen's problem. So that second position, Mason Mount nor Christian Eriksen, both of them don't work.
Exactly.
Um,
Mason Mount. So my only worry with Manchester United is, I mean, just man to man, they have decent players, all right. Marcus Rashford is world class. Agreed or not? He put in a
yeah,
great
Marcus
game as well.
Rashford is probably
He
is
gave
not
us.
probably is your best attacker.
It's
There's
it's
no
not our
question
best
about it.
attacker. He's one of the best in the Premier League. He is, all right. The problem with United is everyone just keeps comparing them to old Manchester United players. Marcus
No,
Rashford and
I
Bruno
agree.
Fernandes
Marcus
are
Rashford is
right
excellent.
because because see this
The
team ended up third. The only reason they ended up third was because of two players: Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford. Okay, and a decent
Yeah,
defense
so
and
the reason
Casemiro.
why I don't put Marcus Rashford as the one of the best in the Premier League is because of consistency. He
Yeah.
has struggled with consistency in the past.
Yes.
He had a great season last year, no doubt. He was
And this
probably
year
the
he
best
started he
left
started
winger.
really well.
Yeah, and he started really well. So I would want at least 2 years out of him before putting
Yeah.
him in a level that he's the best in the league.
All right.
But
But he's
yeah, he
close.
had a great last year.
He
There's
is.
no
He
doubt
is one
about
of the
it, and he
best.
started this year as well on top form.
Yes.
But the
My
problem
so I,
is
I think they're
without that
more or less
midfield,
covered, but
yeah,
the problem is the
without that
midfield.
midfield, I don't think
Just
you
one
can play
position.
what
No, I
transitional
think I
game that
think
Ten Hag wants. And now that your defense is also having so many injuries, again, I don't think it's possible to play this game. And it's not like this is a very intense sort of game as well. It's mostly laying back and taking your opportunities as a team, knowing what sort
no.
of
I mean,
when to spring an attack,
no,
when to
no, no. I
press,
mean, I
when to
think
fall
most of the
back.
no, no, no. All the players put in a very a decently good shift. They were working quite hard, especially Van Bissaka, for all his defensive issue,
No,
all his issues.
I'm not
He
looking at Arsenal's game as your sort of
hmm,
level going forward because you won't face Arsenal, Man City every weekend.
yes,
Um, but I'm looking at other teams. You probably won't do this much defensive work against other teams.
yes.
But even then, you are not a team that wants the ball all the time, even against other teams. I don't think that's going to be the metric. Obviously, you'll dominate possession against teams in the bottom of the league, but in between that number three in the league to 10 in the league, there are some tough fixtures. And in those games, I think it's
Yes.
important to get that balance right on whether to stay back or be counter pressing and try to take possession higher up the pitch, which is what you've tried doing many times, but not exactly worked it out. It worked for one half against Spurs, as far as I can understand throughout the season. The
Yeah,
first half against Spurs.
I
But
was not very impressed with the style in Spurs game. At least for me, what happened was it looked like most of the players were having bad games. They weren't really putting in a shift. Here, the players at least seemed fired up. Definitely, they seemed fired up. There was a lot of passion on the pitch, and it was
the
upsetting to lose. But I think this team also has a bit more energy and a bit more experience that they will come back from this. So
Also, if
that's
I
it
can make
about
one last point,
yeah.
the fact that Manchester United conceded right at the end, again, coming from a position of a team that has defended for matches so many times, defended for our lives so many times, it usually happens. When you defend for so long in a match, you
Yeah.
will inevitably lose focus at the end. You
But
will read to care chances and you will concede in
But
stoppage time.
but but again, Manchester United didn't really shut shop. They were still trying for the goal, and if you notice, they
You were
had a few
trying on
good
the
chances.
counter
The
for
number
that
of
Garnacho
the number of
chance.
the number not just the Garnacho chance. Rashford had a good ball in that Holland missed, and he had another good ball in that was scuffed. So there were a few chances. If you look at the clear cut chances, I think it was maybe Arsenal had one clear cut chance more than Manchester United. Just complete clear cut chances. I mean, Havertz missed, and I think uh, what's his name, Nketiah, he missed as well. And here Garnacho and Holland, and there was one more on both sides actually. So if you look at clear cut chances, that's what it was. Anyways, that's it for about Manchester United.